Hello, crafty friends. Welcome back. Today I am sharing a pocket page, and I am using one of the sketches from Chrissy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. And today's sketch is by Miss Carrie's Creations. And I actually used it to make one of my pocket cards. So that is the first pocket that I'm working on right now. Um, as you can see that I used a die cut, and I believe this was one that I got from Bramble Fox, and it was a small uh, viewfinder wheel. And so I'm using the paper collection from 49 and Market. It is the travel collection that came out last year. I believe it was called Everywhere. And so the background is one of their foundations papers. And then I actually had just purchased a die set from All and Create. It's die set number 26. And it has some border dies that look like torn notebooks. And then these two uh, square or rectangle shaped that look distressed around the edge. So that big orange one in the center is one of the die cuts that it does. And so I thought it would be a great way to create some layers using that look similar to the 49 and Market look. And sometimes you get various pieces within the ephemera and things like that. But this way I thought when I don't have the color or the size that I want, that I could create my own layers to use as I wanted. So, and then even with the scrap pieces, I used partial dies to create some of my layers. So this is a pocket page, companion page to an earlier one of a trip that Joe and I took last summer. And this is documenting the evening when we met his cousin and his wife, Tim and Deb. And they happened to be on vacation as well at the same time down in Vegas. So we happened to be there one night only and at the same time. So we met for dinner and walked around for a little bit. And it was really great to see them. So here I'm using just some of the leftover border strips that I had from that you cut off, the branding strips that you cut off from the papers. And so I'm making the banner instead of making them notched out banner pieces that I did decide to only do this one to represent how it is shown in the sketch. And so getting those on, and then instead of using tags, I use the view masterpiece there. And then obviously I only have one picture in that pocket card, but hopefully you can see where the inspiration came from. That sometimes I struggle with making my pocket cards look different and interesting and not looking exactly the same as you look through my albums. And so I think this kind of helped to break things up a little bit to use the sketch and get a little bit different look that I may not have put together if I hadn't had the sketch. So adding some craft foam here to the back to give a little bit of dimension. I don't do a lot of craft foam in my pocket pages, but once in a while I do go ahead and add that if I am struggling to figure out what to do. Sometimes that just gives the dimension, enough dimension to make it work. So now I'm moving on to the next pocket page. And here I decided to put my picture all the way up to the edge, top edge of the card. And that kind of just gives the feel that it's kind of like the picture is its own banner or embellishment. And so once in a while I will do that as well, just to give a little bit different look. And so now that I get the basics down, and then I go back and add some different embellishment items to just kind of fill in the gaps. And so here, these were several scraps that I die cut, and here is a few more tiny little branding strips that I'm adding in there, and obviously disguising the fact that it's not big enough to go all the way across. This picture here was, we went to a local brewery, and it's called Brewdog, and had a lot of fun there. Had dinner, tried some, obviously you can see I tried a flight of different beers, and they were all pretty good. So if we ever get back to Vegas again, I will probably give them another try. So there I kind of got the basics down, and so then I decide to move on to the back side of my pocket page. And since I was still documenting pictures from the same trip, I decided to go ahead and use the same papers. And I am creating okay, so here's where I kind of mess up, that I decide I have more pictures than pockets available, and so I decide I'm going to make a pull out for the top pocket card. That way you can pull it out from either the front of the pocket or the back of the pocket. And so this was going to end up on the back side of the layout, adding in a rub on there. However, when I go to make the cards, the base cards for the back side, that I decided that since I was using the same collection, that the backside, I didn't need to cut an additional set of cards, and I was just going to use the backside of the front. Well, so here I'm comparing it, and I realize that I get to the backside, and I'm like, oh, well, I put this rub on this piece, and I glue it down. And then somewhere along the lines, I realized that I don't have any place to slide my pocket down into, because I used the backside of this card instead of having the gap between the two different papers in the front and the back. So I had to improvise. So you'll see how I worked with that on the end, that I ended up not putting anything on that top card, and I just slide the pocket tab, excuse me, just over the top of that adventures. So you really don't see the rub on that I have there until you pull out the pocket. And so I made my crafting mistake, and I just made it into an opportunity and just made it work. So here I am, just kind of finishing up things as we go here. I use some, obviously on pocket parts I like to use a lot of scraps, that it's a great way to use up little pieces of collections. And so even some of the lighter colors that I have there were from Spectrum Sherbet, and then even some of that orange striped, I believe some of that might have even been scraps from Wedgwood. And so I just use up what I can, what matches, and I keep all my 49 market papers together so I can find what coordinates and go from there. So we are getting close to wrapping this up. I will have several close-up pictures of each of the cards coming up afterwards right here. And so if you have any questions, leave those down below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.